It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show on a Monday morning, fresh start to the week, and that time of the week when we talk relationships. Now, we've all heard the phrase at some point or another, I'm in a relationship with myself. And it's a notion that's becoming more and more popular as people seem to become more disillusioned with relationships and dating. And it surely sounds like a very healthy way to redirect energy and love to yourself that you would be given to a significant other. So giving it to yourself. But now, why are more and more people turning to dating themselves? It's a real thing right now. What are the benefits of it? Is it maybe a selfish thing, or is it a necessary step in being able to give yourself what you deserve and embarking on a journey of self-love? Well, that's what our relationship expert is here to talk about. And of course, we encourage your questions and your comments on this topic. Give us a call on 021 430 9881. Dr. Eve, always great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And a very interesting topic that we're taking on. Being in a relationship with yourself, loving yourself, self-love. A lot of people have been reflecting on that. But, I mean, shouldn't we always be regarding ourselves as being in a relationship with ourselves, regardless of whether we're dating someone or not?
Yeah, that's an ideal way.
Yeah.
You know what happens, Kat, is that when people end a relationship,
Yes.
the first thing that they do is that they want to replace that partner with somebody else. And so immediately they get back onto dating sites or apps or ask their community or their friends, send me a partner, because I can't stand this empty space. I need to be in a relationship with somebody. And one has to wonder, you know, why is it that we're so quick to replace a partner? So what this trend is saying, and I'm not sure if it's just to kind of comfort and soothe single people or if it really is healthy, and I'd love to hear from our viewers. What this trend is saying is that don't go and look for a new partner straight away. Have a relationship with yourself first. And if you think about it, we really feel very uncomfortable to be in relationship with self. And what I call it is that we need to be able to fall in love with oneself. And there's an ulterior motive that I have around that, because,
What is it that you mean about falling in love with yourself that makes it sound to me that being in love with someone else almost kind of stops you from falling in love with yourself?
It does. I really think that it does.
Okay.
If you think about how when you're in love with somebody or in fascination with somebody, you give an enormous amount of time, resources, you invest into energy into that person. And I think that there is oftentimes a neglect of self, because I'm wondering, and I'm throwing this out to the viewers, how many of you invest in yourself when you're in a relationship? How many of you will spoil yourself, please yourself, compliment yourself, spend time with yourself, admiring yourself? I think a lot of our energy is other-directed. So what we're talking about today is, why not just have a relationship with yourself where you take all of that energy, resources, time, investment, put it into yourself, instead of wanting to please, and wanting to receive feedback from your partner. And I'm going to pick up on what you said. I think it's absolutely essential to have a relationship with oneself before or during having a relationship with somebody else. But we seem to skip that part and go straight into wanting to please and be in relationship with another, rather than staying still and being in relationship with self for a while, if not for however long a while one wants to be in.
I mean, this might shed some light as to why some people, when they break up, all of a sudden get back into this gym routine, this healthy lifestyle, more focused, and they become almost a version of their better selves. We have a caller on the line right now already. A very good morning. Who am I speaking to?
You are speaking to Jeff.
Hello, Jack. Thank you so much for your call. What is your comment or question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to say I strongly agree with Dr. Eve.
Which part of it, Jack? Expand. We want to hear more from you.
Just, well, we also, if I'm from a company, we also believe that self-love is the new relationship goal. You can only love and respect others if you truly love and respect yourself. So good work.
Absolutely. So tell me, Jack, in a few examples, how do you love yourself in a relationship? Sorry, Jeff?
In a relationship, well, I think it's good to be almost whole as yourself, a whole person who loves yourself, respects yourself, then get into a relationship. So you can do the same for the other person.
I'm going to pick up on what you said. One should be able to do both. I think it's Jack,
Yes.
right?
Jeff.
Jeff. You should be able to do both. You've got to maintain that wholeness of self, even or especially when you get into a relationship.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be dependent on the other person to love you if you don't have the self-love for yourself.
Yes.
So I think, we're in agreement. This is a great comment. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We're going to keep our lines open, 0214309881. What does it mean to you to love yourself, to be in a relationship with yourself? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you in a relationship with yourself? Give us a call.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
0214309881 is the number to call to engage in our relationship talk with Dr. Eve this morning. We're talking about the notion of why people are turning to dating themselves. Some people out there saying, but it's such a selfish thing to just focus on yourself and to be giving energy to yourself and loving yourself. Dr. Eve, you don't like the use of the word selfish
No.
in this context. Why?
No, I think that the word selfish is just so negative. It's like saying you're not allowed to do anything for yourself. You've got to constantly be pleasing and selfless. And this pertains specifically to women. I'm going to be a little sexist around this because women are supposed to be nurturing and giving and caretaking all the time, and we're not allowed to be self-caring. So when you get into this dating of self, it's just an incredibly freeing experience where you are giving yourself permission not to be pleasing the other, and this is for men and for women, but to be doing things that you love. And people struggle with that, hey, Kat? I mean, it's like, seriously, what am I going to do by myself? It feels kind of awkward.
We'll get into that because we have a
Yeah.
caller right now.
Okay, let's do
Basson
this.
is on the line. Good morning, Basson.
Good morning. Hi there, guys.
Very well,
Hi.
thank you. What is your question or your comment on this very interesting topic?
Well, I have a really strange question. With regards to trying to love yourself, before you love yourself, you get into a relationship with someone else, and then you actually love that person first, or you start to learn how to love someone else first. So my question is, how do you discover or find a way to love yourself after you've already gotten into a relationship and put most of your effort into loving someone else first and forgotten about yourself?
That's a very poignant question. Thank you so much for that, Basson. So now you are
Yeah.
in relationship
Yeah.
already. I guess you've made your partner used to the fact that you give all of your energy and concentration and love to them. Now you feel that lack of love in yourself. How do you change things up?
Yeah, I'd love to know, is it Basson?
Basson, yeah.
Basson, are you still there with us?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I want to know how you're struggling, because I can hear you've got a bit of a struggle with that.
I do struggle quite a lot with it because I put a lot of effort into it.
And you feel like
And
there
it-
isn't enough energy left over for you, or you feel like you've been taken advantage of?
Yes, in some way, for granted for most part.
Okay, so you're frustrated. I mean, this is a beautiful example of how loving oneself first is the most important thing. Basson said, he loved the other and he gave so much energy and investment into the other person. And now it's beginning to, and this is what happens, Kat, you begin to feel resentful and angry and taken for granted. And people will say to me, I'm in my therapy room, like, I don't feel acknowledged. Men will often say that. I don't feel acknowledged, I don't feel appreciated, I give so much and I'm not getting anything back. Well, it's like, damn it, give to yourself first.
So now that's the question. I mean, you're trying to create this well of abundant love in yourself so that you can give out there into the world. And perhaps that's
Completely.
where Basson finds himself now. So
Yeah.
what do you do? Is
You
it
really have to follow your own passions and have your own purpose. You cannot depend on the other person to be the one who is feeding you, to make you feel well. So let's talk about dating self even within a relationship, because this is what he's talking about, Basson is talking about. You have to be able to know, what is my purpose, what is my passions. I always feel more concerned, Kat, about couples who sit on my therapy couch and are what we call joined at the hip. We do everything together, we're never apart, and I can see they're kind of clinging onto each other, but they're there because they have problems, either sexual problems or emotional problems. You have to be an independent person who dates him or herself frequently to be able to be of value to the other person. Otherwise, you're kind of boring. What are you bringing into that relationship?
all right?
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Eve, we're going to keep the lines open because I want
Okay.
you talk about having a purpose, and maybe we can just touch on how to define that purpose for yourself
Yeah.
so that you can then start to plow energy into these things that define you.
Right.
But our lines will remain open, 0214309881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's a Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're talking about dating yourself, why that is so important. And so we've got our lines open, 0214309881. Kim from Joburg. Good morning.
Hi, morning. How are you, Kat?
Very well. Thanks for the call, Kim. What's your comment or your question?
Okay, my question is, me and my husband, we've been dating for around about 2 years. And the question that I have is that he looks at me to get that self-love. And yeah, so my question is, how can I help him, or is it something that he needs to do for himself? But what can I do as a partner to him to instill that?
Yeah, quite interesting to see that Kim, as the partner, was the one noticing
Yeah.
that he is looking at her for that self-love. So is it something that Kim can help with, or is it something that hubby has to deal with on his own?
Why I'm laughing, Kat, is because Kim is the one who's phoning to rescue her husband.
Which is beautiful.
No, it's not.
I think it's beautiful. She cares about her hubby.
No, she doesn't.
Kim,
She's
I think it's
feeling
beautiful.
No, she's feeling the burden of it.
Dr.Eve.
It's not your responsibility, Kim, to be rescuing your husband. You know, obviously she's feeling like, I want to have a more interesting husband, or I'm feeling burdened by him. His responsibility is to be able to get his own life. And what you've got to do is you've got to start what's called individuating, kind of separating a little by little for yourself. You've got to have the courage to disengage from him and allowing him to have this time to date himself, which is going to be really scary and anxious for him. And you're really scared and anxious, which is why you're calling in. So just very slowly start doing things on your own. Gently start doing things on your own, and he will get to understand that he's kind of lonely and bored, and he will have to up his game a little to be able to be in relationship with you, right? Does that make sense to you? Are you willing to take the risk?
Absolutely. Like, on his side, I can see he wants that. But it's very difficult for him. He doesn't know where to start.
Okay.
And
Well, you are bang on the button right there, Kim, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about next, about where to start. So keep listening and keep watching. Thank you very much for that question.
Great.
So what do you do when you want to start dating yourself and loving yourself?
You go for a coffee on your own. You sit and you have that awkward moment of feeling everybody's looking at you, because we grow up in a society where singleness is seen to be inferior to being with a couple. So people feel very self-conscious and very awkward around doing anything on your own. You have to be able to explore, what are the things that I am interested in? So it could be, I'm interested in going to this restaurant for dinner, but oh my goodness, I'm going to feel so awkward. Take yourself for dinner on your own. Go to a bookshop on your own. Go to a movie on your own, or an art
Isn't that like
gallery
an
on your
awkward thing
own.
when you tell somebody that you went to a movie on your own and they're like, what?
Exactly. But why is it awkward? Because people are going to call you like a loser, because you're only a winner if you're in a relationship with somebody. So people who are single, people who are single cut out their lives because they don't get to do things that they really want to do, because they feel they're going to be judged and self-conscious around having a date by themselves. It's the most freeing and liberating experience to do things on your own, to take a walk on your own, to take a hike on your own. It just gives you an incredible sense of empowerment, because you get to do things that you love, and then you become an interesting person, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single.
And is this something that you discuss with a partner up front before you start officially dating, that, hey, I do love myself, I like to do 1, 2, 3 on my own, so if I don't think that I'm escaping the relationship, it's just how I plow back into myself?
It's also because it brings richness to the relationship. You know, I may be somebody who really loves art movies and have a partner who likes Skit and Dorner movies. We're not going to go to the same movie, but then you meet up again afterwards and you're sharing the experience that you had, and it becomes a very rich, vibrant relationship. This is what couples need to do.
Wow. I must say, I love the way that you said Skit and Dorner. Give us a call, 0214309881. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Eve shortly.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
All right, we're back again with Dr. Eve, who was telling me about how I should open my eyes more when I sing, which is true. I should do that.
It's so
It helps to
beautiful.
connect. It helps to
Of course,
connect.
I want to see you.
And we're connecting with you right now over this topic of dating yourself on this Monday morning, 0214309881. Dr. Eve, you said you wanted to talk about the stigma of singlehood, but also our need as human beings to connect.
Very much so. So
Tell me
here,
about
this important new trend, I don't know if it's a new trend, I think it's more permissive. It's cool for woke people to be able to go on dates by themselves. Why are you laughing at me?
Not exactly the wokeness that everyone's talking about out there. That's a different
that's
field, but I
true.
understand
You know what I
where you're
mean.
trying to get
Okay.
to. More,
yeah.
enlightened in that way of trying to
Yes.
connect with yourself. Yeah, it's what people are doing.
And it's always been maligned, certainly by my generation, that you're just not allowed to have a life of your own and do things on your own. And I'm really encouraging people, Kat, to do that, to become more interesting, to forget about the stigma of I'm single, I'm alone, therefore my life becomes very narrow and limited, and I can only have a broader life when I am in relationship with another. You just waste your life.
Yeah.
Take yourself out. Do things that are really interesting for you. Forget about what the stigma is or what other people around you are thinking. You are having a good time. You're enjoying your coffee.
It's called abantu bazothini syndrome. What are people going to say syndrome? We live in that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you want people to like that picture on Instagram, so you put as many filters on it as possible, because otherwise, abantu bazothini.
So
You know what I mean?
that means that you're a judge and you're lesser than.
And you think about what people around you are thinking.
Yeah, that is
we
such
do that a
a
lot.
waste of time.
We actually have a call on the line. I think
Let's do that.
Loanne on the line.
Yes, yes.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the call. What's your
morning.
comment or your question?
My comment is exactly what Dr. Eve said now is exactly what I've been doing for the last 17 years. I was married for 23 years, and then I got divorced, and I was going to become a hermit, and I had to learn to do all of that on my own.
Wow.
And I'm so content. I actually just even went to movies on Sunday by myself.
Yeah. In those
Wow.
first days, Loanne,
Yes.
what were the first things you did to start dating yourself, to fall in love with yourself?
In the beginning, because, you know, you feel a bit down, I had to go walk in malls and walk where there's a lot of people and
Right.
go to the beach and do things like that, yes.
Yeah. So that makes sense that you first want to just be in a crowd, and then
Yeah.
afterwards, as you get
Yes.
more comfortable, you just think, I can do this on my own. And as you
Yes.
said, there's a sense of contentment. Why should you cut out your life? Why should you not go to a movie because you don't have another to go with? Good on you,
Yeah.
Luann. Thank you for
amazing.
inspiring
That's a
us
great
today.
story. Yeah.
I even took a trip to Namibia on my own for the weekend, you know?
Good on you, girlfriend.
I mean,
Good on
imagine
you.
that. Trip to Namibia. Thank you so much for that, Luann. But you were also saying, Dr. Eve,
Yes.
there is also a need for us to connect. We
Yeah.
are human beings, and
Yeah.
that is part of our nature.
Yeah, I do not want to whitewash what people might be feeling right now, Kat, around. I'm single, and actually I do want a partner. Of course, people want partnership. We are social beings. Our brains are geared towards connecting
Yeah.
with others. That's the most important thing that we want. Of course, we connect with friends, and we know from research this is just a fantastically healthy thing to do. But connecting with another is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Make yourself healthy, go on dates by yourself, and then when you are in a space where you're ready to connect in a healthy way, of course that's what you want to do.
Then you do that. Well, thank you very much today, Dr. Eve. And I hope you really put that into your seminars or your talks. You must hashtag abantu bazothini syndrome.
I will.
Say it.
Abantu
Bazothini.
Bazutini
Syndrome.
Syndrome.
Ah.
Syndrome.
That's just beautiful. Listen, this is what Mondays are all about, Dr. Eve. Thank you very much. And thank you for all our callers as
Yeah,
well for engaging
beautiful.
in this conversation. We'll do it again, Dr. Eve, next week. Thanks, babe.